We were talking before we taping about Venerable Fulton Sheen, and who do you think has sort of inherited his legacy? Obviously, there are a lot of big Catholic communicators right now. Some people have big mega platforms, online and on social media and on radio.
Hello, I'm Archbishop Christopher Coyne, and this is Coffee with the Archbishop on a sunny summer afternoon, so I'm drinking my iced coffee, and joining me today is my regular interlocutor, Mr. David Elliott.
I'm drinking seltzer, pomegranate polar seltzer.
Pomegranate polar seltzer. Nothing else in it?
Nope.
That's a shame.
Well,
that's a shame. And I get to play with the ice rings on the table.
It is an afternoon, so it'd be far less uncouth for me to have something else in there, perhaps. We normally tape these in the morning, you see.
I have a source of temptation, at least multiple sources of temptation in my office, because people for gifts give me wine and booze, and a lot of times I don't bring them over the house. Yeah, and so they're sitting in my office. They're kind of like, in case of emergency, break this glass. So, but it's it's there. Lead me down to temptation. I don't touch it.
Right.
We know last time we do talk about things that are not just fun things, but sometimes we talk about some serious stuff. And so we've got some things happen. First of all, Blessed Michael McGivney is still on the road to canonization. We're still working with that. We can talk about that. And then Venerable Fulton Sheen, Archbishop Fulton Sheen, is about to become blessed.
That's right. In late September, that's going to take place. And I think it's really exciting, especially as someone who works in Catholic communications. I mean, Fulton Sheen was one of the original, American Catholic communicators who was able to convey the gospel message in a way en masse that it really was not done before, at least to the level of popularity that he enjoyed.
Yeah. Now, what's great about this is that when someone is named a blessed, the ceremony for beatification takes place in the man or the woman's country or thing. So we have Blessed Michael McGivney was done here in Hartford. Sadly, it was done during COVID, so it was kind of limited to what could and couldn't be done. But then you have Blessed Stanley Rowther, who was done out in the Midwest, from Harris, and now we're going to have Blessed Fulton Sheen. Now, but there was a little tug of war going on there.
I heard some scuttlebutt about this. Could you illuminate on the topic?
His beatification is going to take place in St. Louis because he was originally from the Midwest before he came into America, New York. But he was very much an auxiliary bishop of the Archdiocese of New York, and he did his television show from New York, and that's where he's popular. And so there was a question. In fact, I think his remains were in New York originally, and they've since been transferred to back out to where he was born and raised. And so there was a little bit, well, do they do it out of New York? Do they do it out of the Midwest? Do they do it in Rochester? Because he was the bishop of Rochester. And the settlement was that it would be in the Midwest.
And I think he did a lot of his television broadcasting when he was a bishop of Rochester, I believe, during that time after
I'm not
he left
sure.
New York.
But the one thing that I always liked about him was not only his shows, which I was too young to really watch live, but I've seen them.
The reruns. Have you seen the reruns?
I've seen the reruns, yeah.
I used to see the reruns as a small child on EWTN, and when I was growing up, he was always just the guy with the cape.
A ferriola.
A ferriola. Now, I heard that you have one of those.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't wear it.
The only time I would normally wear it would be at like a graduation.
Okay.
Or the installation of like an abbot or something like that, where I was when I wasn't sitting in choir, but I was just there attending. Or I could wear it at like ecumenical events or something like that when in full regalia.
But no, he wore his a lot. I always remember him on TV wearing his. Was that something more common in that era? Or okay,
it was less.
I think you could bring it back, like a Throwback Thursday, ferriola.
It's hard to keep it pressed.
You gotta steam it, I would imagine, yes. Or do like a no heat tumble on the.
Yeah, what I do when I was like going to high school graduations or college graduations now, because I have the doctorate, it's an actual doctorate in the sense it's not an honorary doctorate. I wear doctor robes with a collar, and a beretta and all that. So it's much more comfortable, believe me, than the full regalia, especially during the summer and when you're going to these graduations. But I like to show the three stripes, so it's like they were earned.
It's like Adidas, yeah. So aside from, we were talking before we taping about Venerable Fulton Sheen, and who do you think has sort of inherited his legacy? Obviously, there are a lot of big Catholic communicators right now. Some people have big mega platforms, online and on social media and on radio. Who do you think has sort of taken the mantle from Venerable Fulton Sheen?
Well, I think in many ways right now, in terms of like outreach to young people, is Father Mike Schmidt. In terms of like, well, he's not a bishop or anything, but he's Father Mike Schmidt, and he has a huge following of
Yes.
folks, and there's others that follow him. There's a lot of other popular casters out there.
Bible in a Year, right? Father Mike Schmidt. I think that's one of his programs. Yeah.
Bishop Barron, who's really originally Father Barron, when we were on Fighter, he started with that, and he's got a fairly large following of people across the United States.
Do you know him? Do you guys know each other?
We know we're friends. We know each other.
Sure, yeah.
We know. I wouldn't say we're colleagues.
Sure.
We're not, his life is full of travels and everything in a way that mine isn't, and all that stuff.
Sure.
But I know him through the conference. He's decent. He's a really decent sort of a guy. I think what's happened with Fulton Sheen. Well, remember, but before Fulton Sheen, there was the tragic person of Father Coughlin out of Detroit, who was the radio priest. And he was as big on the radio as Fulton Sheen was big on the television.
Really?
And,
so what was his story?
His story was that he was quite the preacher. And he had the shrine out in Detroit, and he broadcast from there. And unfortunately, he entered into the political realm. And towards the end, he got somewhat anti-Semitic. Oh. And so he was canceled, and
so cancellations go way back. They're not a new phenomenon.
They had to pull him. This bishop had to pull him. I mean, I'd have to go into the story a lot more, and there might be people out there who will chip in and say I don't have my facts right. But my facts are that he was really popular as one of the most popular radio priests and influential people in the United States.
But then he went off the rails.
Okay. And then Fulton Sheen comes along, and he takes the new kind of media of television, and because he's such a charismatic man, such a fine speaker, and he has a way with words. Some of his famous phrases, that you just can remember. There is no Easter Sunday without Good Friday. And things along those lines, and the things the little sayings that he had out there, and the way he was a good teacher, and he was popular with not just with Catholics but with other people out there who just loved to watch him. And he's quite a good-looking guy too.
Oh, so, yeah, handsome. Kind of looked like a movie star.
Yeah. So he had that curl and all that. So he really did a lot. And then as he moved on, and then once he moved into Bishop of Rochester, that kind of reduced a little bit his presence in the way that he had been.
I actually watched a really interesting. You might find this interesting. An interview between William F. Buckley and Fulton Sheen from back in, I want to say, the 60s or 70s on Firing Line. His program. Fulton Sheen mogged Buckley, I would say. Mog is a Gen X term for essentially to outshine or outdo or show up. I would say Sheen mogged Buckley, but
he probably just in terms of his posture.
Oh, well, he has major aura too. If I could use another Gen Z word, major aura with Fulton Sheen. I mean, Buckley had aura too, but it's a more relaxed.
So he's going to be beatified.
Yeah.
What day do you know?
It is going to be in St. Louis, and it is September 24th at 2 p.m. Central Time.
Wonderful. So that'll be a great celebration for the U.S. But we also have our own local priest, Bishop Blessed Michael McGivney.
That's right. On his way to sainthood.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. It's just taking its time. The church is being very careful to look and testify to the second miracle, and they don't want to rush it.
You know what? That's always what I tell people, because a lot of people ask me, "Oh, what's going on with Michael McGivney?" Blah blah blah. I always tell them, I say, you don't want it to be rushed. You want it to be thorough, and you want it to come with the full authority and the full faith from the Vatican that this is real and that this person deserves to be a saint. I wouldn't, and I would have it no other way. I think you want something that's thorough and something that's very, very complete.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and I think I'm looking forward to the time when he actually does get approved to become a saint, and then we'll travel over to Rome for the canonization, and maybe Blessed Stanley Ralphin might have it at the same time as well.
Perhaps.
So we might have two American saints being made saints at the same time.
America 250, baby. Here we go.
Well, my friends, you've been watching Coffee with the Archbishop. Thank you for joining me, and please remember to subscribe to this channel.